guys in good shape.
It's Eric Bowling. How you doing, sir? Something we've talked about for, let's say, the better part of 20 years. I think it's something near and dear to your heart. Energy,
right there.
Our energy security. Under Joe Biden, the average price of oil for the 4 years was about $79 a barrel. He drained the SPR halfway down, promised to replenish it, never did.
Right.
Under you, first term, $53 average price for 4 years. Biden was $78 for 8 years. It was never refilled. The question is now $64 or so.
Yeah.
What
Coming down rapidly.
Coming down, and what a great opportunity to fix another one of Joe Biden's problems, one of the things he broke in America, giving us the energy security of an emergency SPR,
Sure.
fill it to, maybe even go beyond and fill it to 1 billion barrels.
The Jody missing.
Thoughts on the energy sector?
So it holds 77 million barrels, and we had it up to the top, if you remember. And I was proud of that, and I made a deal to buy it at the lowest price of oil. It was a good deal, good instinct. And we filled it up, and when he came in, he started using it to keep oil prices down because he blew our energy policy up. Energy and his bad spending is what caused inflation. So now we have no inflation. Gasoline just hit $1.99 today in 5 states. $1.99, isn't that a nice sound? It was up to $4, and going up to 5, 6, and 7. In California, it was $7.70. But we just hit in five states $1.99, $1.98, and it's coming down to that level. So that'll be a big thing. And one of the reasons the prices and costs are going down when you go to the supermarket, because I said I was going to get costs down. We're getting the cost down. Food is coming down. When I came out, my first week, if you remember, I had a lunatic reporter screaming at me saying, eggs are going through the roof. What are you going to do about eggs? I said,
Yeah, like 3 days after.
I had to call you. I said, I just got to tell me the problem. Well, they're doubled in price and they're going to be 5 or 6 times higher. They were right, actually. I said, let me work on it. And now we have eggs down to the same numbers it was when I first came in. You know, we lowered the cost of groceries. A simple word like that, groceries, is almost a strange word. I haven't heard the word in so long. But what could be more beautiful than the word grocery? And we have the prices way down. We have the energy way down. Energy brought the groceries down, if you want to know. You know, so we think we're going to get it lower, and we're going to fill up the national strategic. It's called the strategic national reserves. I had it topped out, and this guy would use them every time before the election. He'd use them. Whenever they had an election, it was artificial. But believe it or not, as big as that, tens of hundreds.
Pretty sky today, huh?
Millions of barrels of oil, all filled up at low prices.
Yeah, the resurfacing. Main road in the village here.
Keeping your prices down during the holiday, so
Trying to rig it to win elections.
And they didn't bring it. The only mistake they made, they didn't bring it a little down. They brought it right down to the bottom. The thing is practically empty. They never filled it up. They never spent 10 cents on filling it up. And we'll do that when the market is right. We'll fill it up.
We'll come back to that. I gotta get gas. I gotta go pick up a prescription for my mother-in-law. She had surgery today. I just got her home. I had to go let the dogs out. Hit the button, guys.
sauce with jam. It's constant. It says Coffee Green Coffee, the best coffee in the world. Thanks for the grift.
Anyway, I'm gonna find that it is cool. When I said he's gonna get it, yeah, when I
Yeah, I know who too. We got the wife a new vehicle yesterday after we finished totaling out her other one. Yeah. That's why one of the reasons I haven't been streaming much lately. I've been dealing with a lot of crap. We had to deal with that, and we had to deal with the issue with my son's dogs, and then our dog. Last week was a nightmare week. Things have turned up. We went shopping for got her a new Bronco. I'm actually jealous. Yep, sure did. And she got T-boned.
yes,
Like, wow, what timing on that, huh?
What's that?
I didn't know that. What do you guys do for the 4th of July? How do you normally celebrate?
Family time, hot dogs, hamburgers, watching.
Yeah, we got the Bronco.
Do you light your own fireworks?
We have before, but probably this year.
Got it yesterday. Got the approved by USAA. I had to co-sign, but that's okay. You do that for your wife. Fuck.
Yeah, well, one thing if I went through it, rocks and it wasn't like,
Yeah, no, I'm jealous, man. I almost said, all right, so you get to take my Blazer and I'll take the Bronco. It may get warm in here, but I'm gonna leave the radio on. I gotta get gas. I'm almost out of gas here.
I mean, I don't know.
There's always community events. You can just like get a lawn chair.
So good to see you, Dio.
And then with your community, you watch fireworks.
There'll be like at least 20, different various small cities will have fireworks this weekend. So we'll just go. We'll just go do that. And
last year, I went to this brewery near me that's on a hillside and like overlooks this valley, and you could see a combination of like town fireworks and also people setting off their own. So you saw like 20 different displays. It was really cool.
Nice.
I love watching fireworks. That's one of my preferred 4th of July activities.
Yeah, we'll definitely. My wife likes them, but the best fireworks we've ever seen are at the fly-in. It's the world's biggest fly-in. It's at the EAA. It's the world's biggest. Like people come from all around the world to view this thing, and then
fly
they have
like
crazy.
Sorry, I'm really stupid.
Some people fly in their planes, but a lot of people like myself, I'll just go, and they have, military jets, historic planes, water planes, amphibious planes, thousands and thousands and thousands of planes to look at, different things, and then they have different aerial shows, and they have like the best fireworks. They do this thing called the Wall of Fire, where like they have like 50 kerosene drums, and they'll do these like simulated bombing runs with World War II era planes, and they'll have these huge like explosions around that you can like feel the heat and like so like it's hard to compare with that. So it's hard to compete with that. So
Hey, and if people are spending time with their families and stuff, and they need a good family-friendly movie to watch, I actually Netflix has a good one right now.
oh,
K-pop Demon Hunters.
oh, family
So
friendly.
patriotic.
Yeah.
Classic for the 4th of July. Patriotic, but oh my goodness, I was so pleasantly surprised. Now I'm a little biased because I do like K-pop anyway. And I like hunting demons. So this just combined two things that I really love. So I watched it. I thought it was adorable. It's it's cheesy, but I thought it was such a fun watch.
Do you think you have to?
Great. It was just no gay stuff, nothing like
That's
that.
shocking.
Korea would never.
Yeah.
Exactly. That must be why it wasn't, because it's Korean themed.
They did have some gay stuff in Squid Games.
Oh,
that's true. They did, but I didn't
Yeah.
watch that season. I watched the first season and I loved it, but then apparently they had like a troon in the second one.
Yes.
And so I didn't watch
popular
it.
in the West.
Right.
Yeah.
Classic
first
us
season-
ruining part of Eastern culture.
Well, the first season was great. Second season was, I was like, there's no way you're catching lightning in a bottle twice. Like, the whole reason that show worked is because you were like, holy crap, they actually died. But like going into the second season, you already know. And it's like,
exactly.
It's totally anticlimactic. I knew that would happen. I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I just kind of like petered out. I don't even know if I finished it because I was like,
and apparently
these are deadly games. Yeah, I know that. I remember that from the first year.
Apparently they're wanting to do an American one now.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
saw
like,
that too.
but why?
Yeah.
Didn't Mr. Beast already do that? He had like his own version of the Squid Games or something.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
America's done it. You need to walk away.
That's what's just crazy about American entertainment. It's like, instead of actually coming up with something cool on their own, it's like, oh, somebody else came up with something. Now let's remake it, but American style, and make it gay.
Okay, have you seen the show Broadchurch?
No.
It's like a crime show. The first season, I thought the first season was amazing, and the second season was like solid, but not quite as good. It's funny, I watched it with my husband.
All right, let's roll. Hey, Exy.
But it's a great crime show. It's set okay, and then they apparently
Melanie's on.
very shortly after starting the first
Dio.
season, on the American version of it, and the American version, it's almost identical script, is awful. Like, weird stylistic choices they made, or they cut some character storylines and modified some stuff. Like, it just made it so much worse. Even though watching the two of them, I swear the scripts are so close to them to be exactly the same. So I agree with you. I feel like you can't just be like, it was good over there, we'll make it America, and it will be great again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you know what? I sometimes it can work if you didn't like the original or you didn't watch it. Like, I think the American version of The Office is great.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I never was into the British version, so I could never be like, this is not as good as the original. Like,
And the British version didn't last as long. Right?
no, it was only a couple of seasons. Obviously, Ricky Gervais is a legend. But yeah, I didn't have any of that preconceived stuff where I was like, oh, this isn't as good as the original. With like Squid Game,
Some tea.
an American, why? Because there's 7 people in America that can't turn on subtitles. Like,
Right, exactly. They
my
even have
my
an
life
English
is a
dub.
total.
There's no
Yeah.
excuse because they even have the dub.
Dude, one of the biggest fights I've had in the last 3 years is over subs versus dubs with that damn show with my wife.
Oh,
I was like, no fucking dubs. She's like, well, I'm not gonna watch it. I need dubs, and I'm like,
I'm on your side on this one. Not gonna lie.
yeah,
I would rage.
I did rage, but I was like, I might be pushing it a little too far. But I was like, I was basically like, what? You're so dumb, you can't read the text on the screen.
How much gas?
I was implying.
270.
I know you want to play video games while you're playing the show too, but
Oh, 274.
maybe read a sentence once in a while. I was very like, no, English.
But it's going down fast.
And then she's like, okay, well,
They went down 20 cents from yesterday. Of course, we filled up our new Bronco first.
And I watched like the second and the first subs, and it was fine. But it's just not. I don't. When you have English subs,
No. I'm taking care of some things. My mother-in-law had a outpatient surgery today, so I sat at the hospital while she went through it. Took her home, dropped off her scripts, and now I'm going to pick them up and bring them to her. Then I'm heading to the house. So she doesn't live too far from me, though. It's been a lot of running around this last week. A lot of bullshit. Things are looking up, though.
I know. I wish I would have known because I might have made a different decision. Because I also really liked Dark, which is also a show
Actually,
English subs.
Me and Monclova.
It's really, really good. I think it's a German show where they're the same creators with that ship show this time, like 1456, the investigation and stuff. I don't know how to best describe it. It's like a show where there's multiple dimensions.
Well,
and the whole show is a mystery. Like you don't know.
We weren't actually paying for it. The dealership was paying for it, so.
I highly recommend it.
Okay.
It's they have several seasons. Is it called Treaty? Is it called? I think it's called. Yes, it is. I think this is the trailer. It's really hard to follow. I'll say that. Like, you have to really be fucking dialed in. You know, those kind of shows, like, you're not playing Candy Crush while you're watching this. Because otherwise, you're going to be like, what? What the fuck is going on? Yeah, do it. This is
Gestern war ein Freunde in einem ewigen Kreis miteinander verbunden. Schon vor Wochen ist in der Kleinstadt Minden ein 15-jähriger Junge auf mysteriöse Weise verschwunden. Nun alarmiert ein weiterer Vermiss im Fall die Bürger der Stadt.
So, what you kids go missing?
Kann ich überhaupt nichts sehen. Was eine Seele aufgelöst.
I don't want to give too much context because it's so wild.
Okay.
That it'll give it away. Like if I say, "Hi, here's what's happening," But it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. And
I want to watch it.
Well, actually, like my vehicle, premium doesn't work well in it. It's got those small turbo. It's got one of those small turbo engines in it. I put 93 in my this Blazer one time, and I regretted it. It's not actually very good for it. I don't know why this guy needs to get over it, but I'm gonna let him.
So anyway, yeah, this to understand the show, there's I've referenced this multiple times. There's actually a flowchart of which characters are what's going on with it, and it's but it's I don't want to leave that as too long because it kind of
Got it.
If you can deal with subs, I highly recommend. I don't know if people in chat have seen that show, but it's pretty bonkers. Yeah, so it's just a total mind fuck. That's all. I'm good. Now go watch the damn thing. Yeah, there's yeah, I'm totally checking it out. So a lot of people haven't seen it. Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah,
that's kind of
my engine was running like crap with 93 in it. And the only reason I did it is because I was getting I was filling up gas tanks for the lawnmower, which you want to try and get high octane for, and I was like, I'll just top it off with this since I had the pump out already, and then I regretted it.
So shout out to that.
Melanie, before we start, can I ask your opinion on something?
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the voodoo dolls?
Oh, I hear they're demonic.
I was wondering. Jeremy, I have been thinking about telling you I'm going to bring this up, but I'm going to put a link to one in the private chat so you can see it. There are these trending dolls, and I feel like all modern goth girls like them. They're collectibles. There's like a crazy hype culture where you go to a box and you get a store of YM. But I'm starting to see them everywhere, and I couldn't tell if this would be the kind of thing that Melanie is like, yeah, they're right, or she'd be like, no, God says no.
I thought they looked cute, but then I kept seeing all these videos on TikTok of people talking about how they're demonic, and I don't know. I'm a little too creeped out. I think they're cute, but I'm more creeped out by what I've been hearing about them.
I've heard of pissing in the radiator, but not in the gas tank.
Oh, I see some images here.
Some people are saying they got them for their kids, and their kids are telling them that they're talking to them in scary voices. They burn them, and like I don't know. It's that's them. I think they're adorable, but I really want to research and make sure if they're demonic or not.
Well, what about this?
See? And people like have started getting them tattooed. Like, that terms are really trendy right now. Sort of like it's coming back. So like little other stuffed animals hanging on the bag is a thing. And this was the first place we started seeing girls getting on keychain ones to put on their purse. The keychain ones, yeah. They're tiny.
Dude, let me in. God damn it. I'm gonna fucking push you. I'm getting right back off.
They've had like demonic experiences after getting them, and I don't know. I before I buy one, I want to look into that.
I think. Let's see here.
Oh, there's no audio on this right now.
Sugar clears the injectors. Oh yeah.
They're like
Well, that's what I've heard. If you accidentally put diesel in your engine, just pour some sugar in it. You'll be all right.
Just 3 million subscribers.
You guys know that Poplar is the creator of the Boo Boo. They actually just put out the statement here a little bit ago, which is terrifying. We recently saw the Poplar US Instagram on their profile. So, dear Poplar community, we have received a growing number of reports about our figures' behavior. Strangely, customers have shared unsettling accounts of their figures.
Oh, come on. This is a marketing thing.
Well, they probably love it because it's like it's I sometimes see kids with this and it's a stuffed animal, but it's often like goth girl culture or goth girl that like kind of leads either way. Some of them are really into the satanic stuff, some of them are just into the dark aesthetic.
I'm gonna tell you, it may be demonic, it may not be. But what I will tell you is they are a fake collectible designed to separate you from your money. They have no
All
value.
collectibles are.
If they are not Beanie Babies, they are not. I mean,
Beanie Babies
no,
are
how do you
fake
not
collectibles.
smell them?
Made anyone money either, right? I mean,
How do you?
I like
They made the stores
better
like that.
personally. If I'm gonna get stuff like this, I do like. I already was a big fan of Domo from way back in the day.
Actually, I haven't even checked for the month. Yeah. Last month went fine. Did you see my message back though? So I need to arrange like a poker stream or something like that where I can bring in a bunch of people. Maybe actually do a cop watch or something. But I need to get 20 viewers on a live stream, active viewers on a live stream on Rumble. That's the new rule they have for creators, for you to be able to get the creator pay sometime this month. So
but there is something like
I'll probably schedule it and post it on YouTube and stuff, and I'll start it on YouTube,
I disavow because there's some leftovers.
but then I'll just have to send everybody over to Rumble because I've got a bunch more subscribers on YouTube still.
All it is like different colors of the same thing. That's what makes it hard.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, all
this
it
is like
is just
troll dolls.
different colors. Yeah, and I never got to the troll dolls and all that either. So it's just like if they have different characters, and I could really, think of like.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if I could do that on a regular basis too, but oh, let's figure it out. I mean, I'm on Rumble now too.
I think people should collect coffee. This is
Would you sell the boo-boos as a giveaway for your coffee? Like, you know, really
Flavored coffee.
No. I am too familiar with the plight of the consumer who got their shit pushed in by clients. And I will not support this crap.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Kind of careful on like all consumer culture stuff because it is a big waste of money.
I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably start doing some poker streams.
I try to be now. I didn't used to be. I remember I used to watch these like top.
It sounds like the 180th is flying low over me.
I would watch these people like they would go to like Hot Topic or whatever. And they're like they would buy like the hard plastic cases. And like, these are gonna be worth some money someday. And I'm like,
No.
You know what I never understood, and I don't know what they're called, but they're like those figurines that are like a certain cartoon style, and then their heads are like blocks. You can get them for everything. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
talking
those
about-
pops?
are you talking about pop figures? That's what we're talking about.
Okay, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like that is just orchestrated consumer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like there's
It
still
still is. You're right.
Okay, did you get Beanie Babies growing up?
Yes.
I did too. And there's a documentary out about
Hey, Steph.
eyes and how people are crazy over that.
Yeah, I gotta pull up my mother-in-law's birthday. I forgot what it is.
You know, like the jellyfish toys that are popular right now?
I'm gonna have to mute it. I'm not gonna doctor.
Different areas. It'll be like,
Yeah.
a croissant that has eyes and little feet. Okay. Only get them at small stores, which is how they circulate it.
All right.
But like, what are you gonna do with 600? Same for the Beanie Baby people.
Yeah. That's how I am with things because like there are different, especially when it comes to anime. I really will latch onto an anime if I like the characters. So there's certain things where it's just like I love these characters, specific characters so much that I want to get the collectibles of these
The
characters. So that might maybe through a Funko Pop, for example. But I'm not into the I need all the Funko Pops, collect them all. It's just like, oh no, I just really like this character, so I want this character.
I've never been much of a collector, or at least of like those kinds of things. I'm sure there's some.
Alright, yeah, have a good one.
Do we know when the others gonna be ready?
I'm sorry?
Was there other ones, or was it just those one?
That was just the only one.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Well, you consume product and then you get excited about the next product. Don't you know how this works?
Yeah, my thing is,
cycle.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's like, how much space do you have in your home at the end of the day? And that's what because I used to.
That's what killed it for me. I ended up selling so
For
much.
me
because
too.
I'm out of room.
Because it was like, hey, okay, I like what I can display here. And it's like, I don't have much room for more, so I'm not trying to like go out and buy a bunch more. Every once in a while, if there's something, I'll use a character.
All right, I gotta
make room
pull up
for one more
her
edition,
address.
but I'm not buying all the time because it's like I don't have space for it.
Now, where she lives is a bad signal area, so I may drop off when I'm good heading over there. But oh well, part of the game. Go back around, get out this way. Woke Melanie, yeah.
It's crazy, but I kind of like the dedication to like super niche.
That's very
That's
autistic.
funny.
Yeah, I like that.
But it's
Yeah.
different than just like all order 27 Funko Pops off their website. Where's the
Right.
stamp?
Yeah. So let's get to Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Ugh.
Passed.
So
I
it's
think.
like now we're done with this. Back to
Well, no, it's fine. I think most people, if you're like me, like there's not a lot good left in it. There's not a lot of good left in it. I feel defeated and angry because
The big bloated bill.
I also resided to the fact that this is the way our corrupt government works.
I don't, admittedly, I'm not exactly sure of all the fuss with the big, beautiful bill. I know there's a lot of conflict surrounding it. I just always default to, well, I trust Donald Trump, but I don't.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty smart, Melanie. Just trust any
Why don't you break it down?
any politician.
I mean, it's hard to break down because it's 956 pages or something. It took 18 hours for a Senate staff to read the other day. It's a massive bill. There's a lot of
It was supposed to be the no tax on tips.
It is.
I know.
I mean, there is no tax on tips in it. There are some cuts to Medicaid, which some people support, some people don't. There's a lot of stuff in it, and I think that's one of the problems. With the
A lot of pork as
AI
usual.
provision that was in there. I mean, the House
They dropped
voted to pass it. They did drop it, but then the House voted to pass it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, actually, I didn't realize this provision, which gives the right to regulate AI to the federal government and not the states, was in here, and if I had known, I would have voted against it. Already a problem for me that politicians moved on and are discovering what's happening.
Yeah.
Eventually, that got removed. There are other provisions that people are still fighting over. And what I think is interesting is this Murkowski, she's
Hey, Mama One.
in Alaska. She apparently has already said, even though she just voted to pass it, that the House should go back through it and keep taking things out and then send it back to the Senate for final approval. I mean, that would be the third iteration of going
But they passed it.
possibly.
It's over. I mean,
No, it has to go back to the House for final vote. Because the
oh,
Senate
right.
Now she's saying the House should change it again, which means like, so what? We're just sending it back and forth. Like, is it a symbolic win because Trump wanted it passed by July 4th? Like now the House has to go back through and spend all night moving stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know I said this yesterday before watching from that show. I just hate these massive bills where there's so much in them that you could be reporting on the same bill from 87 different angles because it touches all kinds of different parts of policy. And
Oh, look, another sheet.
and the idea that like senators have now voted on it and they're like, but keep checking it, House. It might not be ready. Is kind of crazy. I mean, how many times do we toss this spending bill around before we say this is not working?
Well, that's part of the problem is that where you, someone in chat says, I collect Shaq from Genesis cards from back 38. I appreciate that. That's very cool.
amazing.
The problem is, they put limits on the no tax on tips, they put limits on the no tax on overtime. And when it gets bounced around, what happens is Trump says, I'm on this. And then he goes about his business. Then it goes to the House. All the people that are taking money from Israel and the United Arab Emirates and China and all this crap, Planned Parenthood, anti-gun lobbies, they throw all this garbage into the bill that wasn't there to begin with. Then they hey, my constituents want me to be, to put my foot down and have some more money for Ukraine. and all this crap. And by the time it gets passed, it's no different than any other giant omnibus bill that just fucks over Americans.
So why is Trump
What is the sheets?
about this bill?
Nobody says what is the sheets and then spells it right.
Trump really cares about signing this on July 4th. He doesn't care as much about the pork that's getting crammed into it between now and then. That's my opinion. I can't say that for a fact.
Oh, look at this guy. He's Zoom. You got in front of me. Hey. Guess what, asshole? I'm turning here anyway.
Yeah, but otherwise what? I want it by the 4th, or else what?
That's what I kept thinking. But again, like negotiating tactic. He's the boss and he says, I want this by Friday. You know, it makes it more of a deadline. It puts pressure on everyone else. I think the other part, from my understanding, is because it's fairly early in Trump's term, getting a certain amount of budgetary cuts in place or money freed up.
I think we may even do a marathon stream on Friday. We'll see. I'm kind of doing that stuff, just Rumble. And I'll start dropping into other chats and getting people to come over for it for just a minute.
Link it to all of these other things to get it passed. And procedurally, they'll say yes because we just have to vote once. But as a consumer, as the American taxpayer, when money goes towards this, it's hard for me not to be like, all of you don't know what's in here. You don't know what you're entangling us to. Some of you do because you've slipped something in. But why should we?
What's the yins? Come on.
Spending on border security with Medicaid. Like, are those things actually linked, or just under the guise of budget?
Yeah, like even in chat, one guy says, if you don't pass it, everyone's tax goes up 35%. Response later, if you don't pass it, 68% tax increase. Like, that's all nonsense. They could break off the tax breaks and pass them as a single bill. It's not if this doesn't pass. It's if we don't accept all the other bullshit, then there's tax increases. And like, you know, I voted for Trump 3 times. So don't get your undies in a bundle chat. Like every time, like I can't stand Trump cultists like Catcher. Like, dude, wake up. Not everything Trump does is perfect. Like it's cringe to say it is. Now, I don't necessarily blame Trump for all the pork that's getting put in, but I will blame him for not kicking it back and saying, get rid of this shit, if he's more interested in having the symbolic victory on July 4th. Trump is all about optics. That's what this is. And it's very, very frustrating to me to see, you know, they remove the suppressor stuff. They, you know, getting rid of the AI stuff in the land and selling federal land.
So I keep getting this email from the National Air and Space Intelligence Service down at Wright-Patterson Airport. They want me to apply for an IT job. I'm like, do you guys know my background? Yeah, it's a rescission. That's why they need to do it. But for rescission, you have to put as much. You only get to do one rescission per year, I think, or every other year. Well, it's per year. You know, per budget, you can only do a rescission bill. The thing is, a lot of the things that they want in the bill, you can't do in a rescission bill. Everyone's saying, oh, it's the parliamentarian is pulling this out, pulling that out. Well, because that's their job. Yeah, that person may be a libtard, but certain things can't be in a rescission bill. Just all these people, like all 3 of these here. I mean, I think Hannah B. Claire is probably the most knowledgeable as far as how this goes. I know Jeremy isn't. He's a quarterings of bonehead when it comes to politics.
But it was passed on the 11th hour to get the votes. For some reason, the Patriot Act also banned online gambling. Like, it had nothing to do. Right, it had nothing to do with national security, nothing to do with anything. Just some senator was like, I'm not voting for this unless you vote for this. My guess is multiple people, like in Las Vegas, in any state where there's legalized gambling or sports books, are probably like, hey, here's your chance. We donated $5 million to your campaign. Now we're calling in a favor. Now that $5 million you donated to your campaign, now you know why we did it.
Easy on the libtards? Nah, they're easy on each other enough.
And, you know,
I'm just saying, though, it's just like, it's not, I'm actually kind of on the side of them. It's like, there's certain things that you can and cannot have in them type of bill.
Oh, the government's going to shut down if we don't pass the budget. And
let it shut down.
I think twice in 20 years, and the world kept turning. And it's just they do this shit to make people afraid, and it's nonsense. There's nothing stopping them from passing a singular bill that says no tax on tips.
Yes, there is. They won't pass it.
There's no rule that says it has to be some giant 2,000.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
Something Doctor says in the chat talking about the art of the deal. That's something I can't help but kind of gravitate toward that frame of mind, because look at what Trump has done so far, that he's gotten so much pushback over things that have turned out to be okay. Look at the tariffs, for example. People are freaking out, losing their minds over the tariffs. Everything's okay right now. Look at what happened with the dropping those nukes in Iran. Everybody was freaking out that World War III was going to happen. That didn't happen. Everything's okay right now. So I'm just curious to see how this plays out before I get too ahead of myself. Now, this is definitely something I want to look into more, but I just know that Trump is
there you go,
an incredible business.
I'll let you take the torch on that one then.
The economy in our country.
I mean,
and so
I've got a lot of good friends and family members. Actually, my mother-in-law is a huge one. She's a union leader. But I love her, even though I disagree with her about it on everything. Get a bad scare over what?
Most people will judge this based on how the economy is. Nobody at the local pub is talking about the big people. Nobody. It's just people who are terminally online.
I said nukes, by the way. I meant bombs.
I know.
Destroy their nuke production facilities.
Yeah, but I don't think the average Joe gives a shit about this bill, because this is literally the way our government always has worked. But how do you balance that kind of clear with accepting that this is how our government works?
What happened today, buddy?
Saying, I don't want the good, even if it's the peanut in the turd. Because that's essentially what all these omnibus bills.
You can let us know on Telly if you want.
The rest is all.
Or you can text or message. You've got all those numbers. You don't have to say it on here. Signal's already getting bad, guys. So if I lose you, I'll probably just end it. Yeah, right. Yeah, this is probably going to drop out. We'll see. It may not. The stream I'm watching is having problems, so I know the one I'm broadcasting on is going to have issues, especially when I pull in our driveway. Oh, lost your credit card. Damn. That sucks. All right, hopefully you stay connected. I'll be right back.
Politicians or strong personalities to say, even though this is business as usual, we don't want to continue that way. For the most part, it would probably happen at chamber leadership, so you would need Mike Johnson to be like, I am not ever going to bring an omnibus bill to the floor. That would be a huge political target to put on his back, and I can understand where it's hard to change a system that's already in motion. But it's I think you're right that in some ways it's like expecting the American people to settle for less. And I think that's why people like Thomas Massey have such a big appeal, because he'll be really explicit about the fact that he won't vote on something he hasn't read, or that he is critical of bringing omnibus bills to the floor, or when it was like allowing people to be away from DC to vote. The way it keeps, I mean, you've already kind of addressed this, but the reason it keeps happening, I think, is because we have this like pressure cooker, the government might shut down, or whatever, or anything, any of these sort of esoteric.
Oh yeah, it is pretty here.
Potentially impact.
She's got actually more property than we do.
We have build up, and then nothing really happens.
Our property goes way back too. It's not fenced in, but
I think one of the hardest parts of the Trump administration has been these negotiations over budget. We had one before the inauguration, and it was similar. Like there were things that people hated and things that Trump was backing. And I generally, I would rather have Donald Trump in charge of the economy than Kamala Harris and whoever is advising her, more than Joe Biden. But I think it's reasonable to say you have to stop doing this. Like, if you want a tax on tips, that should just be a standalone bill. And you can have a huge bill signing, and Trump can sign it in the Oval Office, but rolling it in with other stuff makes the American people more wary of how the government works. And I think building trust is one of the best things that Donald Trump did with the American people. I don't want it to squander this early over things that don't have to be this way.
Yeah, I think.
You found it? Something you're throwing away? Wow.
Like on the doomer side, like Elon's crash out is kind of cringe to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of over caring what Elon thinks about politics. I don't know if that, like.
Drive to local time, White House, Ohio.
All right, asking Scanner Radio Pro to play Drive to Local Time, White House, Ohio.
What? No. I didn't say that. I'm glad you're able to cancel. A lot of times you're not able to. Drive to local time, White House, Ohio.
Local time restaurant and bar. Let's go.
I get it. Yeah, like, I get that he's smart. It doesn't mean he knows everything about everything. I liked him backing Trump because I liked his money, and I liked, I liked the energy, but I never gave a shit about what he wanted politically. And I don't think that he necessarily knows what's right.
Yeah, it's same with me, man. I don't hardly use my card that much anymore either. I've got them on my phone, and I just tap it, or I do it electronically.
Exactly. This is not going to help anybody. It's not like he's going to start a third party that's going to win. All he's doing is dividing the right. That's all it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, what I support, I don't know what you would call it, a bill about bills, like, that no bill shall exceed 10 pages. Yep, I would. Because nothing should be more complicated. And it's wild. Before we get into perhaps the most disappointing news of Hannah Claire's life, I do want to give a shout out to my wonderful host today. Why don't you let the folks know where they can find your content, where they can support your stuff?
All right, you guys can find me on YouTube and Rumble at Bible Time with Melanie Mack, where I have Bible verses of the day shorts on YouTube. They don't have shorts on Rumble, and then I have a
not yet.
Oh, really? Okay, how exciting! Well, soon
you're gonna have shorts on Rumble pretty soon.
Yes, and then daily devotionals, daily Bible devotionals every single day. So on Rumble and YouTube, and then I also brought my Bible verse of the day over to Instagram and X and TikTok as well. That's like my main focus. But then I also have my pop culture, nerd culture commentary channel, Melanie Mack Go Boom, and I have a weekly stream every Wednesday there as well.
Shout out, Hannah Claire.
You can find my work on Rumble and YouTube at Hannah Claire B. I'm also on X at Hannah Claire B. I cover news, politics, news and cultural analysis, and I was going to cover the Idaho 4 case, but it's in a little bit of turmoil, although I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you.
Theories that wrapped up in the 24 hours since. But yeah, thanks to those of you who have supported my work. My channel is weird because I cover kind of whatever I feel like, and it ranges a lot. So I've been really grateful for those of you who are watching videos.
She only lives a few miles from my house, so I'm actually on the other side of the village. She's on the even more rich side of the village here.
I'll bring them to Rumble when Rumble accommodates. But again, it's at Hannah Claire B on X, on YouTube, and on Rumble. Thanks for all the support. Jeremy, are you going to tell us about some fun products?
Well, I just want to shout out CB Distillery. Summer's here, it's time to relax and hit the refresh. But if stress, sleepless nights, and sore muscles are getting in the way, CB Distillery has got you covered. CB Distillery's 4th of July sale is on. You can save up to 50% off site-wide with code RUMBLE. I'm a big fan of their product and also their paint stick. CB Distillery's got plant-based solutions for just about everything. Better sleep, relaxation, mood and focus, even pain after exercise. It's all made with premium hemp grown right here in the United States. No fillers or artificial ingredients. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery. 4th of July sale is a perfect time to stock up and save up to 50% off with code RUMBLE. If you haven't tried
CB, I'm not down with that.
Visit CB.
If I become paralyzed or something like that, maybe I'd be interested in the Neuralink, but nah.
I actually use my own.
It's basically just an RFID.
Save the most. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, you kitty.
It's Doc, right?
That is Doc. He's being a little attention for. Okay.
I think he just wants to love and support you. Gosh, yeah. It's really grateful of you.
Yeah, all right. By the way, also, I don't know how much longer we're going to have the promo code, but if you want to support the show, there's 2 excellent ways. First, simply by using our promo code in the link below or going to rumble.com/premium. Using promo code FREEQUARTER, you get a full free month of Rumble Premium, access to all of our members' videos, as well as Crowder's member videos, Tim's member videos, our members-only live streams, and so much more. And I don't know how much longer.
Yeah, this is the village here.
So if you've been considering supporting the show, please do. If you want to support the show,
I usually cut through the corner of it, but this is the actual village itself.
I understand. You can go to thequartering.com/join, join our members-only Discord, and still get all of our members-only videos. You won't get everyone else's, but that's $6 a month.
Oh look, the one spot that has shade is
promo codes,
not a parking spot. We'll just pull up here then.
Use any of our sponsors, it's a no-brainer. MetaPCs, I have an even better promo code. By the way, MetaPCs promo code but try that, get into the Discord, and so yeah, you can follow the show too.
Yeah, it's just like that little thing you put in pets too.
The best
little identifier.
Plea deal ever. Brian
alleged plea deal, sir.
It has not been.
Even know.
It hasn't been codified yet. It will be today, though. No, but yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday.
Sorry, I just obsessed about this case for months, and now I guess my entire career.
Yeah, they're gonna answer somebody's message here.
We were good. For those of you that don't know, like I was open to sending Hannah Claire to cover this in Idaho for the channel, and this was a guy that stalked at least 3 college girls.
No way to prove that, sir.
Really? Well, he had dozens of pictures of them on his cell phone.
Not them. That's the thing. It's always reported as college girls and it's implying it's them. He doesn't have any pictures of them. He just has other, like, on my Tinder or Instagram, girls who have been colleges in Washington State or University of Idaho.
What about the 30 cell phone pictures of him by around their house? What about the balaclava he bought that he thought to try and get from them?
He bought it in Pennsylvania like a year before he even. I don't think he was even enrolled at his PhD
Are you
program.
up with him, Hannah Claire?
This is the thing. When I used to work for TPS News,
is this your guy?
Dinner, I remember this story break, and it was weird because it was like 4 college students found deceased in
brutally stabbed. Yeah.
No,
in their
at
seat.
the very first recording, it didn't say stabbed. It was just like this.
Oh.
And so you were like,
Oh,
that's
CO2. I
it.
remember
Like,
people thought that.
you know what I mean? And then that day, it rapidly developed. I'll never forget seeing the images of blood leaking down the foundation of the house.
Yeah.
Which was the girl's room, which was found her boyfriend. And then there was that 6-week period where they car description. They changed the car description. There were students at the University of Idaho who were starting to go home. They didn't want to be in the area because they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know if it was an isolated incident for sure. And I think that idea that young people who are out on their own for the first time were so brutally attacked really scares a lot of people. People couldn't take their eyes off this case. And then we identified Kohberger. And that was done through a tip given to the FBI. There's questions about how they would match.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Do I have an hour in yet? Almost. Close enough.
It's kind of sloppy that he left that sheet behind.
Well, and the argument from his defense was being framed. And that was clear because it's touch DNA. It's not, it's not the same.
Both.
One of the girls had unidentified. They never identified.
Both. They actually have a chef that works here, but it's mostly like a bistro or like comfort food. They do have a couple of steaks, but White House Inn is the best place for steaks. Here, let me turn it around here real quick.
What was it like sending letters to Manson at such a young age?
I didn't, but what I find
all right, guys. Peace. Y'all be good. I'll try and get back on maybe later tonight. I got some running around to do later still. Got a ton of stuff. I got to probably run to Cleveland tomorrow. We'll see. All right, later.